So it's been 10 months since I've done a One Piece video. Also, 3 days ago, the trailer for the second season of the live action adaptation just dropped. And I thought to myself, this would be a good video. Me doing a quick breakdown of the trailer, giving my thoughts on what I think about the live action adaptation, as well as point out some Easter eggs casual fans may have missed. But before we jump into this video, you know the drill. Drop a like, comment and subscribe. Also hit that bell icon to get notified of my latest uploads, and yeah, let's jump right into this one. So the trailer opens up with the Going Merry finally reaching the red line. The red line is like this gigantic mountain that acts like an equator which splits the One Piece world in half vertically, while the Grand Line splits the One Piece world in half horizontally. It's usually a pathway pirates use to enter the Grand Line. Then we get a short clip of Logtown. I don't remember there being an opera in Logtown, but yeah, I think that's just an original concept for the live action. Then we see some grasslands and rivers. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be Little Garden, because I don't remember Little Garden having grasslands and a bunch of rivers. We see Zoro and Sanji moving to a jungle, which I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is Little Garden, since, Little Garden, was a jungle. Then we get a beautiful shot of Whiskey Peak. When it comes to live action adaptation, I think they do a really good job with the production design. When it comes to locations like the Baratie and Shellstown, I think they do a really good job with the production design when it comes to locations in the One Piece world. Yeah, I like what they did here with the Whiskey Peak. I love the giant cactuses. It's pretty accurate. Then we get a shot of the crew walking to what I believe is Whiskey Peak. You also see some civilians watching the Straw Hats as they enter the town. And if this is Whiskey Peak, I think the live action's going down the route where all the civilians are actually bounty hunters in the skies trying to kill the Straw Hats. And the civilians watching them, I highly suspect that they're bounty hunters in disguise. Then we see a carnival. I think it takes place in Logtown, because the shot that proceeds after the shot of the carnival is Luffy looking up at the execution platform, where Roger was executed all those years ago. And yeah, the narration, Luffy says, "Everything I've done has been for the One Piece." Yeah, that's debatable. This carnival, I think, is another original idea for the live action. I don't remember there being a carnival during the Logtown arc, so yeah, I think that's an original idea for the live action. Then we get our first look at Boggy the Giant from Little Garden, and yeah, Boggy looks fine. There's nothing really wrong with him. The CGI looks fine in this shot, even though we don't get a close view of his face. We can see his nose and his eyes. But yeah, I do like the details on his clothing. He looks fine. There's nothing wrong with his clothing. It actually looks real, like actual clothing, not like animated clothing. Yeah, then we get our first look at Nico Robin, and I like the detail here when she opens the doors. We see the petals, and the petals are important. It accompanies her as she performs moves with her powers, and they reflect the nature of her devil fruit, the Hano no Mi. So I love that they kept that detail in with the petals. And yeah, I don't have much to say about the actress. Her wardrobe looks great. I love Robin's Miss All Sunday wardrobe. It's my second favorite Robin design in the series. Yeah, then I was kind of taken aback by this shot. I saw like a tire. But when I think of One Piece, I think about all these wacky over-the-top vehicles. I don't think of cars, because you barely see cars in One Piece. Usually when I think of One Piece, I think of all the wacky over-the-top vehicles. But yeah, I remember now that this vehicle they call it Smoker's Billoware bike. That's what they call it. And I remember him using it in the Egghead arc. By the end, you see a shot of him somewhere in the New World using it. Yeah, this is our first shot of Smoker as an adult, and I'm glad that Smoker's hair actually looks white in this trailer, because when you see Smoker as a kid in the first episode, his hair is blonde due to the lighting being all messed up. So he looks like he has blonde hair because of the lighting. I'm glad that they corrected it here. Then you have Luffy jumping around in Little Garden. Yeah, then we have a few shots of the crew reacting to something. All of them are like in different locations, reacting to something different. I don't know, I kind of find their reactions goofy. I know their facial expressions are kind of hilarious, especially Usopp's. His face it kind of cracks me up. And then we get a first look at Vivi, as Miss Wednesday. And in this shot, she's like sitting on the Going Mary's head. It's during the night. When I first saw this, it just made me think of how Robin was introduced. Instead, she wasn't on the Going Mary's head. She was like sitting on a different part of the ship when she was first introduced. This scene kind of reminds me of that. I like her wardrobe as Miss All Sunday, with the blue hair. Then we have a few shots of the crew fighting. You have Zoro here fighting with one sword style. Nice. Then you have Sanji coming in with a double kick, taking out two opponents. Also nice. Then you have Nami. Damn, she like sweeps the leg of one enemy. He comes falling down and she's about to hit Alvida. So yeah, they're sticking with the manga. You have Buggy teaming up with Alvida so they can both take down Luffy in Lockdown. Then you have Usopp with his trusty slingshot. Then you have this part where Luffy pulls off his Gum Gatling, a barrage of rubber punches, and he says the phrase Gum Gatling, and I don't know, I find this moment, it just makes me cringe. It just makes me cringe for some reason. Like, I'm okay with the characters in live action saying their battle phrases, but I don't know, when Luffy says it just doesn't have that oomph like in the anime with the Japanese voice actor and even with the English voice actor. They just have that oomph to them, which I just don't get from the live action version. I think it can work. Like, I'm not against live action characters saying their battle phrases, but I know with Luffy, for some reason, it just doesn't gel well. Now we come to the last clip of the trailer, and in this clip we have our first look at Laboon. And with this moment, it's kind of altered in the live action, because in the manga and the anime, the Straw Hats like go down the stream that's entering the Twin Capes, and the ship accidentally hits Laboon in the stomach. Then some shenanigans ensues before they actually get eaten by Laboon. But in this clip, it appears that the Going Mary is just going to be instantly eaten by Laboon, cutting out all the shenanigans. And I love Luffy's expression here compared to Nami's. Hooray! This is awesome, man. We're gonna get eaten by a freaking a gigantic whale. What adventures await in that stomach. So yeah, that's my breakdown of this trailer. I think it's a pretty good trailer. Going over my history with this live action adaptation. So 2 years ago, I watched half of the pilot. I didn't watch the entire show. I just watched half of the first episode. And the reason I stopped watching it isn't because of I hated the live action so much. It's that I wasn't into it. It just wasn't for me. It just I didn't hate the actors or how they were presenting the story. I just wasn't into it at the time, and I kind of forgot about it 2 years ago. Now that season 2 is coming out, I thought about getting back into it because I actually want to review the first season and compare it to the manga and anime, and and analyze it from the perspective of a fan of the original manga, as well as analyze it on its own merits, not just comparing it to the manga, but also analyzing it and seeing how it stands on its own as a live action adaptation and as a show itself. But yeah, that's my breakdown for this trailer. So, signing out.